Hello everyone, and this is our next session number 17 of the video lecture series Antenna and Wave Propagation. Sorry, lecture number 18. And in our last two lectures, we have been through several theoretical aspects of ionospheric propagation. In the 17th lecture, the last lecture, we assume that this ionosphere consists of stratified structure. That means there are several layers in the ionosphere parallel to the Earth's surface, and all these layers are parallel to each other also with same thickness. And we also assume that there are no free charges below the lower edge of the ionosphere. That means the electron charge density or free electron charge density just below the lower edge of the ionosphere is zero. And using equation number 161, for this particular region, we derived that relative permittivity of this medium just below the ionosphere is having value 1. Okay, and using this value, we derived using this value and with the help of the Snell's law, we derived this particular equation as you can see on the screen. So on the screen, you are having equation number 164 from the last session, which is written as sine of theta I is equals to square root of 1 minus 81n upon f square. Now, this equation is very important from ionospheric propagation point of view. This equation will give us many different important parameters for understanding the propagation of electromagnetic waves through ionosphere. Okay, so what this equation is telling to us is if suppose you are transmitting some frequency f, suppose you are having a signal of frequency f is constant. You have a constant frequency, you are sending a single tone, and the angle of incidence is suppose constant also, sine theta I. So theta I is also constant. Theta I is angle of incidence, and this angle of incidence is measured at the lower edge of the ionosphere. So a frequency, a sinusoidal frequency of f is incidenting on lower edge of the ionosphere at an angle of incidence of theta I. In that case, this frequency will be reflected back. This frequency incidents at the lower edge, it starts refracting continuously as this frequency or as the signal move upward in the ionosphere, the medium become rarer, and it always bends away from the normal, and correspondingly at a certain height the angle of refraction become 90, and from this particular height, if the frequency goes little upward, it reflects back. Okay, so at what height this frequency will reflect back is given by is found in terms of electron density at that particular frequency. This capital N here is the electron density at that particular frequency. So we can say that using this particular expression, if you are having a frequency f and you are having an angle of incidence theta I, you can find the height from which the this particular frequency at this angle of incidence will reflect back. Or in turn, if you are having a frequency f and you want that the wave with this particular frequency should reflect from a particular height, then at what angle of incidence should be transmitted, you can also find using this particular equation. Okay, so now we are using this equation to find some important parameters of our interest. For the purpose, we assume, as we had understood in our last lecture, that the ionosphere is having a structure in which there is free electron charge density across this ionosphere layer. Okay, but this free electron charge density is continuously varying. It is very low on the lower edge of the ionosphere. It is very low at the upper edge of the ionosphere also, but it is achieving a maximum value in between somewhere. Okay, that means, and at a particular height from the Earth's surface, you can assume, or from the lower edge of the ionosphere, this electron density become maximum. So we assume that at that particular height, the maximum value of electron density is given by N max, as assumed there. So we assume that capital N, which is the free electron density, become maximum at a particular height. So the largest value of the ionization density in the ionosphere. Okay, and we can consider this height to be H max, but we do not need that particularly. Rather, we are having some graphs in our hand in your books also. So if you have N, Using that particular graph, you can find the altitude at what height you can find this electron density in the ionosphere. Okay, so we are, along with this assumption, we also assume that the wave with frequency f, with any frequency f, is incidenting normally on the ionosphere. Okay, that means this angle of incidence here, theta I, become 0. For normal incidence, the angle between the wave and the normal both should be 0. The wave should follow or should incident along the normal itself. So angle theta I is also 0. When you substitute these two things here in the equation 164, you place 0 in place of theta I and n max in place of n. What you get is an equation of this type. Find this equation. So you have sine 0 is equals to square root of 1 minus 81 times n max upon f square. How we get this 81 n max? So this 81 n max upon f square is equivalent to omega p square upon omega s square, where omega s square is the frequency, angular frequency of the wave propagating through the medium. Omega is equivalent to 2 pi f. F is in front of you. And omega p is the plasma frequency of the medium, which is a constant. Okay, and we had derived an expression for the same. It was something like capital N into E square divided by M into epsilon 0. So using that particular expression, we find this particular result. Now, since we have sine 0 on one side, when you solve or when you perform the algebraic manipulation both the sides, you find that f square should be equal to 81 n max. If, or in turn, f is equals to square root of 81 n max. What is this particular frequency, or what is this particular statement here is saying? That if a frequency f is supposed to be incidenting normally on the ionosphere, and we need that this particular frequency should reflect from the highest electron charge density layer in the ionosphere itself, or free charge density layer in the ionosphere itself, then this frequency should be equal to square root of 81 n max. This is the highest frequency which can be incident normally on the ionosphere and reflect. If you incident a frequency less than this particular value, in that case it will reflect from a surface or from a height with, or from a layer in the ionosphere at which the electron density is not maximum. Okay, if you transmit a frequency which is more than this FCR, it will not reflect back from the ionosphere, rather it will go through ionosphere and it will not return back. Okay, so this FCR is the highest frequency, or this square root of 81 n max is the highest frequency which can be reflected by ionosphere when it incidents normally on the ionosphere. This frequency, or this term, is known as critical frequency. Okay, this term critical frequency is very important, and many of the time numerical problems have been asked for this measuring this critical frequency. Okay, so how we find the critical frequency? Using this equation number 164 and the limitation or the constraint that this theta I should be equals to 0. The wave or the frequency should incident normally on the ionosphere, and it should return from the layer with highest or maximum electron density. Okay, now we are releasing, or we are releasing some control on this value of theta I. For finding critical frequency, we consider theta I to be 0. Now we increase this theta I to be some positive value. We consider theta I to be equal to some theta m, which is greater than 0. And we need to find that what will be the maximum frequency which will reflect back from the, again, the layer with maximum electron density. So in place of n, you place n max, but in place of theta I, we substitute some theta m. So for doing this, if in equation 164, we assume that n remains n max, the maximum electron density in the ionosphere, and angle of incidence becomes theta m, which is not 0, it should be greater than 0. When you substitute these all things in the expression, you find that sine theta m is equals to square root of 1 minus 81 n max upon f square. When you square both the side, 81 n max upon f square from right hand side goes to the left, and sine square theta m goes to the right. 1 minus sine square theta m becomes cos square theta m. And subsequently, when you perform the manipulation, you find that f square is equals to 81 nmax upon cos square theta or f square is equals to 81 nmax into sec square theta. And in equation 166 here, we have defined the critical frequency. So square root of 81 nmax is FCR, or 81 nmax will be given by FCR square. So using 166 here, this 81 nmax here can be replaced by FCR. So when you replace it, you find the expression to be look like this particular. F square is equals to FCR square into sec square theta. What this expression is saying? This expression is saying that this F is equals to FCR sec theta. This value of F is the largest frequency which can be incident at the incidence angle theta m on the ionosphere and will reflect back from the ionosphere. This is the largest frequency. If you send any frequency at this particular angle theta m less than this value, it will reflect back, but not from the layer with largest electron density, but from a layer which is having less electron density as compared to the peak value. Okay, if you incident a frequency with value more than this, then it will not reflect back. It will go through the ionosphere and will not receive it back. Okay, that's why for angle theta m, this value FCR into sec theta m will be the largest frequency which can reflect back from ionosphere at particular theta m. Okay, and that's why this frequency is known as maximum usable frequency. We represent it by f of MUF. MUF stands for maximum usable frequency. So what is maximum usable frequency? Maximum usable frequency is the largest frequency which will reflect back from the ionosphere when angle of incidence is given by theta m in the expression. Okay, this is a function of theta m. Keep this thing in mind. So if you are talking about a particular angle of incidence, suppose theta m, then what are the values you can what are the values of frequency which can be incident on ionosphere at an angle of theta? So all those frequencies which are less than f of MUF or maximum usable frequency can be transmitted, but all of them should be greater than FCR, critical frequency. Okay. No, perhaps I think there is no boundation of FCR, but all these frequencies should be less than f of MUF, less than or equal to f of MUF. If the frequency of incidence is greater than f of MUF, they will not reflect. Okay, so this equation is again very important equation, and later on we'll use the same parameter, the maximum usable frequency, for finding the escape distances. Okay. And obviously on the basis of this expression number 167, it is clear that MUF is always greater than FCR. The largest or the maximum usable frequency for any particular angle of incidence greater than 0 is always greater than FCR. Okay. Okay. Now we have an expression, numerical problem for you. I have not solved it. Rather, I have just given you the question and the answers. So you are given that, or you have to find that what is the critical frequency if maximum ionization density of the ionosphere is given by 10 to the power 12 ions per meter cube. Okay, so maximum ionization density, that is Nmax, is given to you, and you have to find the critical frequency. How do you find the same? We know that the critical frequency is given by equation number 166 here. Critical frequency is square root of 81 times Nmax. You substitute 81 times Nmax, value of Nmax in the expression, and you can very well find that the critical frequency is given by 9 megahertz. The next question is to find maximum usable frequency at an angle of incidence of 45 degree. We have already derived that. What is maximum usable frequency? This is the largest frequency which can be incidented at this particular angle. Angle in this particular case is 45 degree and will reflect back from the ionosphere. No frequency more than this value will be reflected from the ionosphere. They will all pass through the ionosphere and will not receive them back. Okay. So how can we find that? We have derived equation number 167. The largest usable frequency or maximum usable frequency is given by critical frequency times sec theta. So substituting the quantities here, and we find easily that FMUF is 12.73 megahertz. Okay, please go through this example. Okay. Next concept. Assume that this is the Earth's surface. In this particular figure 56, this is Earth's surface. And this is the edge of the ionosphere, the lower edge of the ionosphere. And below this particular edge, we are having no free charges. Okay. And above this particular edge, there is ionosphere extending from up to several thousands of kilometers. Now assume that a wave from point M incidents at point A on this lower edge of the ionosphere at an angle of incidence theta m. We don't know this value of theta m. We consider just a simple value. So the angle of incidence is an arbitrary value. So angle of incidence of the wave at this particular point is theta m, and the frequency at which of the signal will be some arbitrary value. Suppose this is f or f0. What can we can assume any value. So here we assume that with any particular frequency f, the wave incidence from point M to point A on the lower edge of ionosphere. In our last sessions, we have derived that when wave incidents here, as it penetrates through the ionosphere, it starts bending from the normal, and it follows this particular path as looks like here, A, B, C, and at C it again reflects back. At point B it again reflects back. It follows path B, C, and then N, and comes to the Earth station. Now, here we consider f to be arbitrary, here we consider theta m to be arbitrary. We are considering just a simple case. If these line segments MA and NC, they both are extrapolated. If you improve these lines in this particular direction of AD and CD, they intersect at point D. Then in this particular case, for this particular frequency f, for angle of incidence theta m, this height OD is known as the virtual height achieved by this particular wave in the ionosphere. Okay, this is the virtual height. What is the application? This is just a mathematical construct, and this mathematical construct is used for finding one of the future results. Okay, so what is the significance, or what is the meaning of this virtual height? So this extrapolation of incident wave and reflected wave, they MA and CN, they intersect at point D, and this distance, this largest height from Earth's surface, is known as the virtual height, as you can see in the figure. Okay, now this virtual height is measured using an instrument. Okay, so the instrument used for measuring the virtual height is known as ionoson. And ionoson, in this particular instrument, several frequencies are transmitted normally towards the ionosphere. And when they transmitted, or when a particular frequency is transmitted from ionoson normally, the ionoson will again receive the reflected wave or the reflected pulse. It will find how much time it will take from incidenting to reflecting back to that particular instrument. And on the basis of this time difference, it is defined that from what height this has been reflected. Okay, and this height is considered to be the virtual height. Okay, for different frequencies, this height is different, and it is obvious also. If you, in equation number 164, if you put a particular frequency f and angle of incidence is 0, since you are assuming that all these waves are incidenting on the ionosphere normally, you will find different values of n from which the waves are reflecting. And so a plot is formed, or a plot of virtual heights as a function of frequency is formed, and this is known as ionogram. Okay. Values are for experimental studies. These ionograms are very important. Okay, experimental studies of the ionosphere. Now, why we had studied this virtual height? So to understand our next parameter, the parameter is skip distance. We use this particular concept of virtual height. So for a fixed frequency, suppose you have a fixed frequency f0 with critical frequency of ionosphere to be FCR. What is critical frequency? The critical frequency of ionosphere is the largest frequency, which when incident normally to the ionosphere, it reflects back from the ionosphere. So this is the largest frequency. Okay, no frequency beyond this will reflect back from the ionosphere when it is incidenting normally to the ionosphere. Okay, so we assume that a constant frequency f0 we are having, and for this particular value of f0, we can find the smallest angle of incidence for which it will be reflected back from the ionosphere, and that will be given by our expression number 167. If we assume that this f0 is the maximum usable frequency at that particular angle of incidence, then using equation number 167, this is equation number 167 perhaps, yes, this is equation number 167. We have placed f0 in place of fmuf, and fcr we already know, as we have assumed. For a given angle of incidence, or for this known fmuf, you can find the value of theta and the angle of incidence, or the angle of theta incidence is given by sec inverse of f0 upon fcr. Okay. What is the meaning of this particular expression? This particular expression says that if you know the critical frequency of ionosphere, then for any given frequency, what should be the minimum angle of incidence? Minimum angle of incidence for which the wave will reflect back, you can easily find out. You can see in this particular figure. In this particular figure, here is the Earth surface. As you can see, this second layer is the lower edge of the ionosphere. Okay, there is no ionosphere below this, and ionosphere starts just from this particular layer and above. This particular height, as you can see here, is the height of the ionosphere with maximum ionization density. As we have assumed, this is the value there. We transmitted the frequency assumed f0 from point M in this particular direction in such a manner that this angle of incidence is theta m, such that when the wave transmits here at this angle of incidence, it will reflect from this maximum height, or I should say this is the largest frequency at this angle of incidence which can be reflected back from the ionosphere, or which can be reflected back from this height of ionosphere. Okay, and it will follow this particular path M, A, B, C, N. Okay, so when we extrapolate this ray of incidence MA and NC, they intersect at point D, and this height OD is known as the virtual height for this particular. Okay, this is just a simple case we had already studied. So for maximum usable frequency, this is the smallest angle of incidence for which we got this reflection. If we increase this angle of incidence, theta m, if in place of theta m we use angle of incidence theta I, which is greater than theta m, then the wave will follow this particular path M, A1, B1, C1 and N1. So reflected wave will come back to the Earth at point N1, as you can see. If we reduce this angle of incidence, then theta m, and so the wave will follow this particular path from M incident at A2 and goes B2, and it will not reflect back. So for any value of angle incidence less than theta m, this frequency will not reflect back. And for any value of angle of incidence greater than theta m, this wave will reflect back. But the point at which this will reflect back at the point at which on the Earth at which it is received will never be closer to m than n. You cannot reach any point in this particular region. It is not possible for this value of f0, for this particular frequency f0, to communicate from m to a point less than n. You cannot establish a link between m and n. Communication is possible from m to n, but not any point below n, or not any point left of this particular n. You cannot communicate within this range, m1 to less than n1. Getting the point? So this particular range in which communication link cannot be established is known as the escape distance for frequency f0. Keep this thing in mind. Escape distance is a function of frequency. For different frequencies, escape distance is different. Okay, so for any particular frequency, if you consider this frequency to be maximum usable frequency, and obviously it should be greater than the critical frequency, then this frequency is there exists a particular angle of incidence below which the frequency will not reflect back, and above which it will always reflect back and receive to the Earth station at a point beyond this particular end, at any other position beyond this particular end, here, but never in this particular region between M and N. So it is not possible to establish any communication link between M and N, and that's why this range, which cannot be achieved, in which the communication cannot be established, is known as escape distance. Can we find this escape distance? Yes, we can find. How? So using Inoson, we have this for any given frequency at this particular angle, we have the value of OD. OD is the critical, virtual height for this particular frequency. So once you have this virtual height capital H, you know this angle of incidence. This is angle of incidence theta. This angle is also theta. So theta with respect to this angle theta m, MDO. If this angle MDO is theta m, then with respect to this theta, OD is the base and MD is the, or DM is the hypotenuse. So you can write specifically like you can write cos theta m is equals to do upon dm. Do is the virtual height given by h. Dm will be the hypotenuse, and hypotenuse square will be equals to the base square plus perpendicular square. So base square is h square plus base square is h square plus perpendicular with respect to theta m is d skip by 2. So d skip by 2 whole square. And since this is only hypotenuse, not hypotenuse square, that's why we have present power 1 by 2 here. We square both the side, the result in front of you. We cross multiply, we separate out the terms with h and with the d skip. The expression for d skip becomes d skip square is equals to 4h square, 10 square theta m. 10 square theta m can be written as x square theta m minus 1. And from equation 167 perhaps, is yes, this is from equation number 167. We have this FMUF or maximum usable frequency. Keep this thing in mind that F0 in this particular description of skip distance was maximum usable frequency. So maximum usable frequency and critical frequency are related to this expression. So from this expression, we have sec theta m is equals to FMUF upon FCR. Using this expression, we find skip distance to be given by 2h into FMUF upon FCR whole square minus 1 to the power 1 by 2. Okay. So you can find h, the virtual height from the ionogram, and once you have this h for any given frequency f0, you consider that f0 to be the maximum usable frequency, and f critical frequency is known for ionosphere. So using f0 and the critical frequency, you can find skip distance for the value of f0 for the frequency f0. Okay, so skip distance is the minimum distance below which communication link cannot be established for any fixed frequency FMVF greater than FC. Okay, so that's all for today, and thank you very much. If you have any query, you can very well ask to me. Thank you.